As I said, I'm also the immediate past chairman of the California Peace Officers Association Police Legal Advisors Committee. On a daily basis with the Sheriff's Department, I look at things that affect risk for the Sheriff's Department, that affect risk for the community that we serve. And I would also like to say, when we talk about litigation and trial work, I've tried over 50 jury trials, which means I've stood up, I've given an opening argument, a closing argument, I've picked a jury. My opponent has never tried a jury trial. Now think about that when we say, okay, you're picking an attorney who's going to be in charge of defending the city in litigation, yet he's never tried a case to a jury. That's an important distinction. Again, think of your city as your business. Now, I want to ask you to consider this. How is it that a person who has never tried litigation could try a case or be in charge of litigation for the second largest city in San Diego County? If he was applying for the job, you wouldn't hire him. Also, think of it from a different perspective. The men and women who go out and work and protect you and protect your city every single day, they put their lives on the line and they make split-second decisions. Shouldn't they be entitled to the best city attorney to defend them in the actions that they take every single day? Wouldn't you want that for yourself if you were an employee putting your life on the line? Absolutely. Now, recently, I want to switch gears and talk a little about payouts and litigation are only part of the story. I want to talk about, again, history and how we got to today. And recently, someone gave me an article that ran in the Union Tribune. It's interesting. It ran May 24th, 1996. It could have run yesterday. And what it was it said, Chula Vista City Attorney has backers and attackers. And it tells the story of then Chula Vista City Attorney Bruce Bogart. And what it says is, the mayor wanted to fire the city attorney because she felt that he was impeding what it was that they were doing. The special interest wanted things in their way. And his position was, he said, I see it as my job to eliminate significant risk from a transaction or to disclose it and explain it to the council and let them make a decision. And because of that, it wasn't a politically popular decision, his job was at risk. So that brings us to today. Why do we have an elected city attorney? Why did you choose to have an elected city attorney? Because what you said you wanted was someone who was sufficiently independent from the council and city officials. Someone who isn't going to be in fear for their job and who's going to say what the law is because the law is what it is. It's not tainted by who supports you or who you owe IOUs to or who helped you get there. Okay? Now, that brings us to today. You decided you wanted a city attorney who's independent. There were only two candidates in this race, myself and my opponent. I represent the independence that the people of Chula Vista are seeking, whereas my opponent represents the history that I've been talking about. I've chosen not to seek the endorsement of either political party because it's a nonpartisan office. That's the way it was set up, and that's the way it should be. It shouldn't be influenced by who is making donations or who asked for favors or who helped you get there. Also, I haven't sought the endorsement of the mayor, the city council, the mayor's husband, redevelopment, people on the redevelopment board, the planning commission, employee groups. I haven't met with the POA, they didn't meet with me, the fire department, employee groups that are going to have issues and come before the city attorney's office. I also, I haven't met with other special interests and sought their endorsement. I have met with groups, I've gone before them and said, hey, don't endorse. If you want to vote for somebody, but don't endorse. Be independent, let the office be independent. Now, I want to switch gears a little bit. I've got a few more minutes, and I want to tell you a little bit about what I do and my background. Again, as I said, I serve as a public sector attorney. I'm the only candidate who is a public sector attorney today. My opponent hasn't been working for a government agency for 6 years. I also provide legal guidance and counsel, as I said, to the 4th largest sheriff's department in the country. I am a former deputy city attorney. It was my very first job right out of law school. I also interned as a deputy city attorney in law school. I did 3 different city attorney's offices. The largest one in the country, I interned at the LA city attorney's office, and a very small one, I did an internship at the Malibu city attorney's office. And I told this story at the first one. I said, you mentioned rent control. That was one of the very first things I researched when I was in Malibu. You wouldn't think that they have mobile home parks, but they do. They're very nice ones, but they're there. I've also served as an adjunct professor. I've taught classes at a community college in criminal law, constitutional law, and correctional law. I've gone back to school. I have a master's degree in public administration aside from my law degree, because I think it's important. Before you can lead and run a public office, you have to understand how they work. And I felt that was important to have.